What's up, fellow figureheads? Let's unite and review another collectible from the Marvel Legends X-Men universe. This time around, we're going to have a look at an older figure, Mr.
Sinister.
Yes, that's right. And in the background, you hear the voice of my son. Now, for all intents and purposes, let me be clear. This video is not intended for kids of a younger age. I would say, I don't know what is the age limit here. Let's say 16 and below. This is just a matter of getting my son involved because he's into this character. I don't particularly see any reason why he can't be, although he has no association with X-Men and he has never watched an X-Men series. Have you?
No, I know some characters in the X-Men series.
Right, and that's all you need to know. So today you're gonna help Daddy look at this figure and see whether it's worth the effort for some of the shall we say uncles out there, and whether they should buy and keep that in your collection, in their collection rather, because Daddy has the collection and I think many of them out there would like to know whether they need this in their collection. So what would be the main reason to get this? Because he is a pivotal figure in the X-Men animated series. He's part of the the horsemen or the henchmen for Apocalypse. I think there was few of them. Archangel being one of them, and of course Mr. Sinister. Now, one of the key feature of Mr. Sinister is that he was so obsessed in getting Cyclops and Jean Grey's genetic material, because apparently he didn't want to report to Apocalypse no longer, and he wanted to create this super mutant, and he believed that Cyclops's and Jean Grey's I think combined genetic material or something to that effect will create this super mutant, which thingy jingamingy whatever. I think eventually in the comics they said it was X-Man, but I could be wrong. It's been a while. So anyway, so he comes in this suit that I don't think has changed much, whether it's comics or the figures itself. Now, as you know, for Marvel Legends, what do you get? You get this nice box with a good window display. You have the artwork on the sides.
And description on top.
Yes, exactly. So
and the bottom is the build-a-figure and the name and all the characters.
Yes, build-a-figure. Now this particular Sinister comes in the Wendigo build-a-figure. Now, as you might know,
with Nightcrawler.
That's right, and probably the only two characters that we are ever gonna buy from this wave, because the others I couldn't give a monkeys anyway. But yeah, okay. But if you're interested, this particular way build-a-figure is Wendigo, and if you buy the, I believe the X-Force Wolverine, so that's the Grey Suit Wolverine, Cannonball, Boom Boom apparently, and Guardian, along with Nightcrawler and Mr. Sinister, you can build your own Wendigo. Now, as far as Sinister itself is concerned, the description says a scientific genius with evil intentions, Nathaniel Essex genetically alters his human form to become shape-shifting telepath known as Mr. Sinister. Now, usually the artwork is what is the actual photo of the toy, but in this case it looks like an artwork
of the photo on the
size, which is more, I suppose, how he looked in the comics and whatnot. And then you have the usual gump about legalities and all that, and not for kids under 3. So you're not 3, are you?
No.
Oh, fantastic. That's all well and good. So that is it. We should not dwell on the box. Let's open this bad boy and see what we get, and see whether we can play around with it, and take it from there. Right, shall we do the needful? I've taken the knifey and do the cutty outie, and let's take the figure out of the box. Now, I think you've noticed from the smaller boxes, they do have the artwork, but that artwork isn't anything to shout about, and in this case it's just a X-Men logo. Yep. I don't think you're ever gonna use this as a background, so let's all take that aside and take the plastic packaging out to show our viewers. Who do we have? We have Mr. Sinister. Now he's quite a big figure. He's kind of encompassed the whole packaging, and exactly, this cape is sort of 2-layer, all like what do you go through a paper shredder. Do you know what a paper shredder is? You know, the thing that you put paper and shred things. You know, for those who, I don't know whether your generation still uses paper. No? Okay. Anyway, so that means that he doesn't come with much of accessories. In fact, he doesn't have any accessories apart from the figure, which is a sinister smile, one sort of a fisty hand, and one sort of the usual clawy, what do you call, villain hand. And then of course he comes with the complete arm for Wendigo, for those of you who are interested in the Build-A-Figure as such. So let's take him out of the box and see what we have in terms of the figure, quality control, articulation, all the usual stuff, and take it from there. Shall we?
Yeah.
Now, right out of the packaging, what do we first do? Check for quality control, whether what we paid for is good enough. And I can see the paint job is absolutely superb. Look at the head sculpt. If that doesn't tell you a villain, I don't know what does. You know, the sinister smile, the sinister sort of raised eyebrow, sort of like a, I don't know what is this, like a third eye vision diamond-y thingy going on for him. Exactly the how we remember Sinister. He has this sort of nice blue, shimmery, metallic blue feel about him, and the difference between the, let's say, things like the cape, the collar piece, the shoulder pad to the actual body itself is quite distinct, in a sense that it's different shades of blue. One is more sort of a metallic, shiny blue, and the other is, well, just blue, purplish, whatever, dark and whatnot. Overall, just fantastic. I mean, is as dark as it can get, so I doubt it if ever you're going to see any smudge and whatnot. It's going to be that prominent, and you know, if anything, if ever you want to see any paint flaws, it's going to come from his head because it's in white. But other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with it. What do you think? It's good?
Yeah, he kind of looks like an evil vision.
Yes, he does in some ways. And so let's look at the articulation, because apparently that's very important. So if you, the usual ups and downs, he does look quite a bit up. So without manipulating his torso, let's try to put up. Now of course that's going to be hindered by what? This humongous collar. Look at the size of the collar. That covers his head. That's almost a helmet. There you go. But he does look up, so that's pretty good. So that tells me there is enough of a hinge there to push his head all the way back. And then because of that, usually it also means that he can look quite a bit down. So that's good, you know, for a character that comes with you know, a big collar like that. Let's try to stretch his arms out, and he can do that. Let's try to stretch his arms forward, and he can do that. It doesn't look like the shoulder paddy thingy impedes his position in a way, and unlike some characters, the shoulder thingy is actually part of the cape, or no, I mean, it's not part of the cape, but it's nicely glued in so that it doesn't come out irritatingly, like the, you know, the Storm that we reviewed earlier. Double jointed elbows, which means he can bend, although he can only bend so much because his biceps get in the way. Oh no, he can bend. Yes, he way past 90. That's right. You've been seeing too many toy reviews, haven't you? It's not intended for you. Oops. Anyway, and then he has his hands that can go inward that much, outward that much. That's the clawy hand. I suppose it's the same for the fisty hands, where you can go inward that much, outward that much. So all in all, pretty good. Is there a bicep swivel? Yes, as expected. You can just about see the cuts in the diaphragm that allows the crunch to go that much forward all the way backwards, so that's as good as you can get. Is there a waist swivel? Yes, that means it's a separate piece. Fantastic. The belt, he's quite a decent looking body, isn't he? He's not very slender, he's not very thin, he's just the right proportion. So I like this kind of buck, you know, and I think it's quite true to how he looked in the comics and animated series and whatnot.
The shoulder pad, it blocks like his articulation, so he can't do like.
I think he can.
Like
See?
a TikTok.
Yeah, he can.
He only does like that.
Well, yeah, of course it doesn't go that way, but then I don't think he can go that way because his cape will get in the way. So I think for the 360 degrees, that's okay. In terms of thighs, you can see the swivel, so you can see just about the cut there, so that's pretty good. Double jointed knee that allows his bend, the bend of the knee all the way that much, not the whole way, but okay.
We got the kick forward and kick backwards.
Yes, let's do that. Kick forward, kiki, there you can go that much kick, so that's pretty good. And back, I think we always get the same result, so I don't even know why I bother. And then he can move his leg up that much, down by that much. Is there a pivot? Yeah, I suppose kinda. He can stand, so that, you know, in an awkward pose, so that should be okay. Everything checks out. Whatever I miss, I don't think okay, the cape itself, as you can see here, it is kind of a hard plastic, but I don't think it gets in the way, and I think he can pretty much stand by himself without the cape impeding or needing the cape as a stand, because I don't think this is, you know, because of all the shredder effect, shredder as in not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shredder, but paper shredder effect. Is never going to be a stand now, is it? Yeah. So he can stand all by himself, as you can see here. There's enough gaps there, so come on, stand. So yeah, that should work all by himself. Okay, you have anything to add?
He comes with a Wendigo.
Yes, yeah, also he comes with a Wendigo arm that I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it if you're not building Wendigo. Maybe something for your toy collection, maybe? Yeah, you can use this. Well, I suppose you can. Anyway, let's play around with him, put him through some paces and pose him, and let's get our final thoughts. So, as a final thought, what do we think of this figure? All in all, from my point of view, I think this is as good as it can get in terms of the figure. I don't like a figure that is too slender or too thick. He is the right size for a character in terms of the body sculpt and whatnot. He moves pretty well in terms of the dynamic poses. There is no loose joints or anything like that. The cape doesn't get in the way. The colors in this figure is just outstanding. I love the variations of the blues, whether it's metallic or just plain blue, dark blue, purple, etc. And of course the general look and feel all checks out. So that's 2 thumbs up for me. What about you? What do you think? All good?
This toy is fantastic.
Is it? You like it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. If my son likes it, then I like it even more. So before I conclude and put him through some poses for you to check out later, let me be clear, this is in no way an invitation for kids to go and spend their parents' money to buy this. I'm not encouraging any of that sort, but if your kids show an interest, whether it's a passing interest or just genuine interest, you know, as a parent, you can only be happy and proud knowing that your kids like the things that you like as a kid, because some of these cartoons are very memorable. They taught me a lot of good lessons in life. So I'm hoping if my kids like the same thing, then they too can get imparted with all the necessary good values of life from these cartoons. So there you go. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. So I think it went pretty well, our first video together. I think I might include you in subsequent videos if we share similar interests, of course. Yeah. Fantastic. I don't know whether we'll ever do a review of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but because I don't know whether I have the same interest as you do on that one. But whenever you have interest, come on in.
Okay.
What? So, say your goodbyes.
Bye.
And we shall conclude for now. And as always, guys, if you like what you saw, please feel free to click the like and subscribe button. And until then, oh sorry, before that, please also follow me on my Instagram account at figureheads_unite, where I'll be posting a lot more photos than what I can in the tube of you, because as I said, there are restrictions. In terms of, I don't want to prolong it too long now, would I? So anyway, do that, and hopefully I can grow my channel into decent numbers and eventually come good with it. So till then, have a good day, have a great weekend. This is already Monday. Have the next great weekend, and until then, adios.